on the Liverpool thing. You're a manager with a 100% record against Jurgen Klopp at the moment. How much do you relish the challenge of working out a way to beat a Liverpool team, which so many other clubs have found difficult?
Well, first of all, you need a really individual performance by all of them. You need certain luck, that's for sure, in moments in the game. And then you have to be so consistent in everything that you do throughout 96 minutes, because in any moment they can open you up and you can get exposed. That you never give up, that's another thing that is crucial against them, and that you have to expect them to be at their best. And if you're always expecting that, obviously the level of attention is higher, focus is higher, and then you are more determined in every ball. And against them, that's key, I think. You
said about never giving up. Do you think that Liverpool under Klopp have developed a kind of aura, a kind of power, so that some teams are almost beaten before they start the game?
I don't see any complacency, and they go to any ground, even when they are 2-0 up, 3-0 up, 4-0 up, and they are still going the same way. And this is an incredible credit to the coaching team, the culture that they have created, and the spirit of that team. And you can see that in the 24 or 26 players that they have in the squad. There is no one player that plays half on the day, that is not very interested, that they just play for moments in the game. They just go for it every single minute of every game. And throughout the season, to do that for 10 months, that's a massive compliment, I think, for them.
And is that your challenge now? Because obviously you've won 2 trophies. You've had the string of results in the FA Cup, and you've beaten big teams like Liverpool, like Chelsea, and so on. But is your challenge now to string together, 38 games of that kind of level of play?
That's a different level, and they have done that in the Premier League. They've done that in the Champions League as well, and that's why they raise the bar so high. Not only them, but Man City as well in recent years, and that's the level. And you have to be able to compete at that level, because this is our context and this is our reality. So we want to be one of those teams. Those basic things have to be implemented every day, and that goes through in training. You cannot expect that to do that the weekends and train in a different way. So that's the way you conduct yourself every day as well.
And so finally from me, in particular in the Community Shield, as opposed to the game in the league, it seemed like you really found a way consistently to break the Liverpool press, to get out from away from the front three. And your goal, the Aubameyang goal in particular, was classic, was playing out from the back. Whereas Arsenal at the beginning of last season couldn't seem to play out from the back, but now they can go from front to back against the best team in the Premier League and score a goal like that. How important was that goal almost in itself for showing how Arsenal want to play and how to beat Liverpool?
Well, obviously we have to try to find ways that how we can hurt them, how positionally we can create problems to them as well, but being as well very realistic and cautious that this is exactly as well what they are trying to do. And this is how they break a lot of teams down, when you feel comfortable with a little bit of a space doing those things, and then the next minute you are punished and you are a goal down. So it's a really important balance and awareness that you have to handle during games against them.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thank you.
Harry, Star on Sunday.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Hi. Just with regard, the gap last season was 43 points, I think, in the league, which was obviously a huge amount between yourselves and Liverpool. You've strengthened this summer, but Liverpool have done obviously recently. Is that gap? I mean, it was obviously too large last season, but can you close it significantly to be competing? 43 points is a lot, isn't it?
Well, I think, I don't know, in football history, if someone has closed a gap of 43 points, if they maintain the same level in just a few months. Obviously, what you are expecting to do is you to be much better and much more consistent, and then a little bit they can drop the level a little bit, and then that gap is not that big. But we can control what we can control, which is our performances and our level of consistency. And obviously we will do our best to try to be much better than last year there, and whatever they do, it's up to them.
Okay. And on the subject of COVID, which has obviously become, very sort of been intensified this week with the new lockdown measures being reintroduced. Last time the Premier League stopped when yourself obviously tested positive. And this week we've had David Moyes testing positive, but football carried on. And does that show how far the Premier League and football's come in that time? That and how important is it that football does carry on in this difficult period again?
Absolutely. Obviously, we have much more information right now than we had many months ago when that happened. As well, the bubbles that the Premier League, the clubs and the government have been able to create to try to maintain everybody as safe as possible, I think is working really, really well. But we all know that the issue is still there, that it's not going away, and we have to keep the same approach, be always very careful, very conservative, and try someone to maintain this business alive, because it's really important in many, many aspects. And we are lucky in our profession that we found a way, and not many professions can say that. So let's respect that and try to keep going in the best possible way.
Okay, and sort of in relation to that, next month we have internationals again. As a club manager and as Arsenal as a football club, are you concerned, because you talk about the Premier League bubble and how it's been perfected and how well it's worked? Are you concerned that players will be flying and the clubs obviously aren't in control of procedures and protocol? That your players are going to be travelling around the world, aren't they?
Obviously, from where we started and the protocols we had on day one up to now, there have been some things that we had to change and adapt to be more efficient. And now I think we have a system that works, that has created the positive really, really low across the league. Obviously, when everybody starts to fly away to very different countries, I think at the moment it's a little bit of an experience, and we don't know what the outcome is. We want to believe that they want to follow a lot of things that are implemented and are working well. So fingers crossed that we don't get any bad news from there.
Okay, and with regards to yourself, and your last question from me, I mean, how do we hear that COVID sometimes can have the after effects of it can go on a long time? You had it. I mean, how do you feel? You obviously look fine and healthy and feel good, yeah?
Yes, I am really good. Obviously, I had some rough days when I had it, but I was really lucky. I was treated straight away, and I am completely fine. And I think I don't have any second effects or anything, but I'm still as aware, because I think you can still pick it up, and you have to be cautious about that.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.